Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTubers. Welcome to another edition of Airy Sky Realty's video blog. And the topic is it's quite explanatory, so I'm going to cut to the BS and get right to the sticking points. All right, so you guys are wondering about where your video is for the stimulus update and unemployment. Well, I have a couple updates for you. Short updates, but funny updates. One is Mitch McConnell, like I said yesterday, will agree to any deal that's put on the table if the president stands by it. Right now, the president's thinking unilateral action, which he can't do. People are going to challenge him. And there's a lot more I have to say about the president in this video. But right now, this isn't about politics. This is about your lives, okay? Now, someone came out with a new deal recently. Instead of giving 100% wages across the board, which was Lindsey Graham's idea, they came up with the idea of $400 per week. Fortunately, Chuck Schumer came out and said they're slogging through everything, going item by item and looking over the finance numbers. Oh, well, that's nice and dandy. Congress is supposed to go home on the week, right? On the weekend. Fortunately, they're going to slog on till next week. Unfortunately, a lot of the Democratic and Republican Congress, Democrat and Republican Senate and Congress have stated, both parties, they're walking across the aisle, let's just say, in my discussion here, and offered to quote unquote go home. Yeah, that's great. Go home. We don't need to tell the four stooges in office, basically the four stooges making the deals, actually do something. Hell, Mitch McConnell can go home. He can get phone calls and updates. Fortunately, a lot of people think their vacation should be cut short to cover the people. It's not going anywhere. It's stonewalled. Now, if Mitch McConnell thinks it's going to pass by the president, there's another problem coming with unemployment and stimulus checks, okay? President guaranteed there'd be more, guaranteed definitely there's going to be some bigger stimulus checks. Bigger, really. A lot of people are losing their homes. I watched a report last night, okay? My moderator, Pee-wee, gave me some good videos to watch. They were interesting. I was more interested in the numbers on unemployment. I watched those and got my notes. Currently, there's between 21 and 30 million people going to be homeless with eviction moratoriums in place. Fortunately, Donald Trump wants to use an executive power, which he can't do for it. Now, everyone's like, oh, yeah, we're going to go to $1,200 when we get it. We're on disability. I need it now. You're not. Right now, as the clock ticks into the next week, they're saying that they can't get checks passed. See if it gets signed in the 15th. They're guaranteeing it like the last week or the first week of September. Fortunately, Stephen Mnuchin and Mark Meadows is not getting everything done. Some meetings are good, some meetings are bad. Okay, so what's that tell you? It tells you that, they're slogging 1 inch at a time, give and take, agreeing but disagreeing. Some days they're saying they had great meetings, other days they're saying nothing's getting done. And you know why it's not getting done? I'll tell you why. Because frankly, it's Nancy Pelosi, all right? The deal could be brokered, all right? Now, don't quote me, but I will talk about the president in a minute, all right? Mitch McConnell stated, and I quote, the president's on board with it, and it passes, then it will be law. Unfortunately, the caveat here is if it passes. A lot of the Senate Republicans want to go home. They don't care about racking the deficit at $1 trillion or $4 trillion. They just want to go home. And the deficit's too high and ballooning. So to me, from my own analyst point of view, they're basically screwing over the people. Plain and simple. I, on the other hand, am tired of it. I'm tired of waking up in the morning and, seeing this crap, okay? I truly I spent 3 days. I spent days waiting for reports, and so far, nada. All right. Now I could call. I'm gonna go easy on some of these people. Okay, I know my moderator would probably say I'm going too soft, but here's the kicker: we're in a pandemic. Okay, there's people that are in lockdown. Like I just found out my family in the Philippines is in lockdown. Okay, worried about the Filipinos. I have a heart. Fortunately, in our country, we're going down the toilet. There's too many people clinging, wanting that $1,200 so bad they could taste it. And yet, as I said many times over, you think you're going to get it? They're not even discussing stimulus right now. They're trying to discuss unemployment. $400. Well, a lot of people, and I was going to say, I can't call them greedy, all right? I'm not going to call them greedy assholes or bastards. What I will say is, these people, if they can't make $1,600 last month because they live in a high rise or something, it's time for them to reevaluate their living situation before they run out of money. 2, the American people are suffering to no end. Literally no freaking end. We're in a pandemic, okay? We're in the month of August. 4 days till my birthday. And yet, hold on a sec. Here we go. And we're in a pandemic, and yet everyone is worried about that $600. Now, here's the kicker: what's holding up the entire debate, or as I call it, the debacle. I had to have that to stay awake. I got gaming tonight. And frankly, I don't want to be sleepy. There we go. So, well, welcome back, Cam. Anyways, the problem is the delay is the Democratic Party, okay? The Republicans, they're basically standing around. Mitch McConnell said distance yourself from Trump. Mitch McConnell also said if Trump approves it, Trump doesn't want to approve it. He wants his payroll tax cut, undermining Social Security, undermining the democracy of the retirees. And so it's basically a game with, what is it now, 94 days to the election. It's basically a dangerous game of cat and mouse. Point of no return. Cat and mouse. Can you say that? A dangerous game of cat and mouse. Yeah, pretty much. It's a dangerous game of cat and mouse. I see it as the biggest marketing blunder in history. Plain and simple. The big hitting marketing blunder in history. That's what I see it. The biggest marketing blunder in history. Look, I'm not going to be against or for the Democratic or Republican Party, but I will tell you, I've seen a lot of videos today. It's like Republicans against Donald Trump. Republicans, yeah, something, or R-A-T or R-A-V. Well, basically former Republicans against Donald Trump, all right? These people go and make videos. They have Facebook posts and everything else. And the videos basically are really interesting because they tell their stories, why they don't think the president's fit for command, and why there's true Republicans, true Democrats, and then Trumpians. And they classify the Trumpians as the ones that's the true pro-Trumpers that won't listen to reason or rhyme or whatever. It's an interesting entertainment show, all right? I'll give you that. But we're not here about that. Thing is, as Mitch McConnell said, and I quote, if the president approves it, but then in the next sentence or so, he says, that's if our own party will vote for it, quote unquote. So he's saying basically it's not going to pass because most of the Republicans, they don't want to spend any more money. Now you're wondering, because I keep forgetting the main problem. Nancy Pelosi is stalling the tactics herself by wanting, and you can go through any media sources you want, Fox News, CNN, whatever you want. I don't read or watch Fox or whatever. I do entertain myself from time to time, but I prefer CNN, the Washington Post, LA Times, Seattle Times, etc. They all state, and I quote, and I know people say, oh, well, that's a liberal newspaper, you can't trust them. You can trust most of the mainstream media, because once it gets out from CNN and the newspapers, it trickles down to everyone else. And whatever they say is most likely accurate. Right now, they said two things that were interesting in this whole Republican debacle. All right. Now, as you know, I'm not for or against president or the Republican Party, Democrat, okay? But the reason the Democrats are basically looked at bad, even on CNN, which is by let's just say, the Trumpians. I don't like that term, the Trumpians. Chloe calls them Trump tards. That CNN basically said that Democrat House Leader Nancy Pelosi said it's $3.4 trillion, no ifs, ands, or buts. Red line, right? If they're offering $3.4 trillion, and that's their red line, including taking away liability, let's weigh it in. The Democrats said this. The Republicans won't budge, all right? He knows the Republicans won't budge on the bill. Mitch has it stalled on his desk, the HEROES Act. It's not going to pass. Three things Mitch hated in it. Hazard pay, which people keep asking if they're $10,000. Won't happen. Two is illegals get $1,200 or married to citizens. And three is $1,200 goes to everyone who has children. Now, there's a couple other big news articles I want to share with you today that was really interesting, all right? Someone else posted a bill today, okay? A bill. Trying to move the goalposts, okay, for stimuluses. This stimulus bill, from what I read, okay, basically states that anyone who is a mother, a father with two kids gets $1,000 each for the stimulus, but it cuts it out for disabled and everyone else. Again, who is these freaking idiots? Well, we need to give mom and dad at least $4,000 to keep their kids going because of school and everything else. But the Democrats say we need to give $1,200 up to 3 kids and parents for $6,000. $6,000 again. Mitch McConnell, as I said, doesn't want to budge. Some way, it sounds like he's a true tweaker. Now, what's that lead me to believe? Well, Stephen Mnuchin kept pushing for a deadline by Friday. What happened? They said they might, quote unquote, might get something passed next week. Might, however. Mitch McConnell also said it'd be 3 weeks. So he's saying that it's going to probably eat away his vacation time, right? Well, here's the problem with things, okay? I've been sitting here spending 12 hours a day at least, enjoying my dinner, worried about my family, trying to avoid video making. I got things on my mind that's very important right now. Birthday's coming up, so I got to figure out my birthday present to myself. And yet, by the way, the game is amazing. I can't say enough good about it, just love it. So, oh, and by the way, I don't know if you can see this, but right here, I got bit by a bug. Damn thing swole up as tighter than Dick's hat band. Hurts too. I think a spider climbed in my bed and butted. Good for you. I saw a report today about pot that was interesting. The American Heart Association said smoking too much pot's bad for the heart. Not that I bring it up in this channel. I'm not a pothead. My father-in-law's got a card for pot. He's from Ohio, so he said he'd rather give up his gun rights to have pot than not have pot. Well, to each their own, right? The same guy who said he wasn't going to vote in the election. Now, I was going to say, one of the moderators told me the other day privately, no, it was actually on live chat. She said that most of the freeloading Democrats won't vote anyways because they're too lazy to get off and vote. That might be true. However, for what I've seen on the movements coming around with 94 days, I decided to do some action myself for my own problem. Well, still, you might want to get your heart checked out because the American Heart Association, I trust those boys. They helped me out. Now, I don't know if I told you the story, but I'll tell you guys a story in a bit. So, I took some action. Now, people think when I take action, it's like, oh, I'm going to go on a hunt, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do some damage, or whatever. No, I went out today and online, of course, not out, but online, of course, and updated my voting information. Again, making sure it's current so I can vote in the next election. That's right. Now, whoever I vote for, as I told my loving moderators, it's none of your damn business. What matters is I'm voting. And whatever I feel will be right as a minister of God. Now, the main problem is where are we led with the stimulus checks? Well, as moderator Gail said, until something is signed, you ain't getting jack. I like her term. You ain't getting jack. That's true. That is completely true. Yes, well, heart disease is caused by smoking too much pot. I have heart disease. I eat too much freaking lamb. And I do tobacco. And cigarettes help. Tobacco helps with heart disease, meaning it helps increase it. Now, you all know, I know Cameron and Joe's always asking me, what's for supper tonight? Simple, I'm having a T-bone for dinner. I decided I'm going to make me a steak tonight for dinner. Hopefully it ain't tough as that old cow I ate the other day, all right? Now, I know I shouldn't have speed drank that energy drink, but whoa. Well, yeah, exactly. That's what I want to talk about today, Gail. You're completely right, and I'm glad you joined. As Gail just said, everyone, if you guys are following my video in the live stream and at the end of the video, when you guys keep watching this, even when I'm done, Gail's completely right. It's all talk and no action. Plain and simple. President wants to do executive action. He can't do it. He can do a tax deferment, but then everyone's got to pay it back in big chunks of their paycheck. So they get the money now and then they defer it. It doesn't work. Yeah. So what's going on is Nancy Pelosi said her bottom line is $3.4 trillion. Schumer said they went line by line trying to do it. Some gave concessions, some other side gave concessions, but in the end, they've only slogged 1 inch at a time, trying to go through the jungle. Yeah, well, exactly. That's the thing. Currently, here's the thing, Gail. Here's the thing, all right? For everyone watching, okay, including you, Cam, right now, so many people are worried about the unemployment benefits that they're not even talking about stimulus checks. It's all about unemployment. Think of it this way. They're so worried about the unemployment, right, that's the only thing they're focused on. They say $600. They had a new offer, $400 a week. If they're not going to take it because they think $600 would feed them and do it, let me put it to you this way, okay? Moderator Pee Wee and I talked, all right? Live chat, she did her comments, and she's right. If you live comfortably and all of a sudden the money's taken away, you're going to panic buy. You're going to do everything you can. But what she said wasn't about panic. Well, she did say about panic buying, but what she was saying is if you can't make $800 a month work because you live in a place where your rent's $1,200 or $1,800 or $2,000 or $2,400 a month, then it's time to take your kids and downsize. I mean, I saw a story yesterday, okay? You guys don't know how much research I'm doing for these videos. The video games have actually been refreshing me so I can actually motivate myself. However, I need to get Chloe motivated to do something. Lazy son of a... Only she did was go and get milk today and tobacco. And anyways, enough about Chloe. My frustrations aren't against her, okay? I just want this place clean. That's what I want to say, clean. Fortunately, this isn't about her. This is about the stimulus. Now, let's get back to the unemployment, the stimulus checks, PPPs, and so forth. Okay, I'm just going to lay it all and take food stamps. Fortunately, everything that they conglomerate in is in the bill, okay, the $3.4 trillion. The reason Pelosi says they need to actually try to pass this bill is because the House already passed it, okay? House passed it May 15th. It's been sitting on McConnell's desk. McConnell wants to water it down to give $1 trillion. Unemployment $200 and for 2 months, and then 70%. People are throwing a fit, but I agree 100% with Pee-wee that you need to basically downsize your comforting. For example, if Gail was getting, say, let's just say Gail was working for 40 years, 50 years. I don't know how old Gail is, none of my business. I think she's in her 50s or 60s, maybe 60s. Let's just say she worked for 40 years, okay? Or if she's in her 70s, let's just say 50 years. All of a sudden, she's living on a pension. And she gets Social Security. And her rent, and she's working part-time. Or, well, let's just say she's still working, okay? And her rent's $2,400 a month, not including electricity, water, sewage, garbage, and whatever, right? All of a sudden, the government cuts you off. You have no income. Literally, your rent is basically teetering. And there's too many people out there holding up signs, cancel mortgages and cancel rent. There was ideas out there. I mean, look, people are saying if you just give $2,000 a month per person, then everything would be going good. Which brings me back to the main discussion here about unemployment. They're only focusing on it. Anyways, let me read you the thingy. Extra bedroom with kids costs more money. Sleep on hide-a-bed and living room. Give kids bedroom. Well, I have a 2-bedroom and my rent's $607 a month. All right, so let's just cut to the BS because that's subsidized. My apartment is approximately $1,500 to $1,800, give or take, for a 2-bedroom of this location. We're on an island, so it's a little more, and we got paid electricity, which somewhere around here, I want to tell you, my electric bill went up $12. I got the bill today and I looked it over and I said, crikey, $12? You got to be freaking kidding me. 12 measly dollars? All right, so not talking about electricity. I will get to the electricity thing, but not about my bill, okay? So unemployment is the only thing they're focused on. They're not focusing on stimulus checks. They're not focusing on eviction moratoriums. Trump says they're focusing on eviction moratoriums. The problem is, everything I have read and watched video-wise, they haven't focused on anything of the sort. They don't care. They don't care about the Gales. They don't care about the Cams. They don't care about little mom and baby Joey being homeless in a tent. They don't care. And by the way, has anyone understood that if a parent was kicked out and they're by themselves, all right, they have family issues, they go to a tent. Has anyone realized mom could lose her kid because her baby's freezing in a tent? Come on, wake up. This is the greatest country in the world. We don't want mommy and kitty to go into a tent and be homeless. Now, I've called these people lazy bastards in the past, but I've been looking over the jobs numbers. I've been looking over everything I can get my hands on to compute this video properly to make it, worthwhile when I do it. Well, yeah, exactly. You see, my opinion was this, Gail, okay? And you know I've said this many times over, and I will reiterate it. And I hope you don't criticize me for it, but if you do, I can take criticism, you know this. But anyone who can live on $8.53 a month, or is that what it is? Or $8.53 a month, or $8.83 by Washington State standards, and $16 a month in food stamps will be fine. Will be fine. Plain and simple, they will be fine. So, well, we can always change it and do a Biden hat that says Massa, make America super again. Come on, I had to throw that in there, Cam. All right. So here's the deal. Has anyone looked at the news? I know Gail reads the news. Has anyone thought what's going on? And by the way, Gail, you know how you go through the website we talked about? Have you noticed in the meetings that they haven't talked about nothing but unemployment, not much anything about stimulus. They haven't talked about PPP loans or anything else on the table. They haven't even talked about the eviction moratorium. Look, it doesn't matter. What matters is to survive. I saw a guy the other day saying, are you willing to give up half your food if the government knocks on your door because of food shortages? Or are you willing to get shot for your liberties? You know, what's this? Whatever. All right, so, but no, as I just want to ask you guys that comment. So I'm hoping you guys post a comment, about that. Has anyone again noticed that they're only talking about unemployment? They're not talking about stimulus checks. They're not talking about PPP loans. They're not talking about small business. Oh, and mind you, I do got something else to say. I do need to give you a comment real quick. I want you to comment in the live chat. I will run to the bathroom, but here's something I don't know if you heard this. The government is offering another $25 billion to prop up the airline business. Now, look, I've done the numbers. I've ran the numbers. I don't want anyone being negative and bashing me for the numbers, okay? Now, has anyone realized that during this pandemic, Federal Reserve and the Treasury has bailed out and spent about $4 trillion. I want to get your opinion on this too. $4 trillion to bail out Wall Street. Tell me your opinion. I'll be right back. Good. Talk about numbers. I get done with my video, folks. I'll make my own dinner. That wretched useless oven. So Amazon gave our refund back and gift card. So it's a gift to our account. We got $58. I'll figure a game or two out for you. All right, sorry about that. Everyone had to use the bathroom. So, $25 billion, the airline stocks went up today after an announcement that the Feds was going to bail out the airlines yet again. 2008, we bailed out the banks and the auto industry. Now in 2020, we're bailing out other companies. No, I didn't say 12 trillion. I said, listen, Cam, I said that the airline got a 25 billion, not trillion, billion as in a B, bailout. 25 billion. Propped up the stock market of the airlines. So Wall Street got bailed out again. All right. What I said was, and again, during this pandemic, I think Gail understood my wording. 4, not 12. 4. Uno, dos, tres, cinco. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Quattro. See, quattro. So, 4 trillion. 4 trillion was spent to bail out the businesses. So, let's put it to you this way. Everyone knows I don't sugarcoat things. I think that's why Gail and you like me talking about this situation, Cam, and Joe does too, and Pee Wee, is $4 trillion to bail out big companies. Now, here's what I say, okay? I mean, I don't affiliate right now with any party. I've said this. For my own religious reasons, I can't affiliate. But if I was going to say anything negative about the Republican Party, I will say this. They're more interested, and there's a lot of pro-Trumpers, or as this one guy said, Trumpians, from the land of Trumptopia. Jokingly aside, I'm just throwing that out there for fun. It's my video. That believe that $4 trillion should be bailing out businesses. But what about the people that lost their jobs? What about the children that are going hungry? What about the elderly? What about the disabled, Cam? What about the cancer patients like Gail? All this stacks up to $4 trillion. Now we just spent $25 billion on airlines. They said we spent like $300 billion bailing out the cruise industry. Well, let's do the math here for a minute. With all the money that we're funneling into big businesses, I say if I had to run on anything, I would run as an independent in Congress or the Senate first, and I would dance on the table and I would get their attention by saying, look, you Republicans are spending too much fucking money, quote, end quote. We need law and order, and we need to get this deficit down. We can't keep bailing out your big buddies while mom and pop is starving. There is a census report. 33 million people are going hungry. 33 million. I mean, look, Cam, here's my point. Remember these numbers, Cam, okay? For 18 months, picture this. For 18 months, Cam. 18 months, all right? So let's pull up the calculator for a second here. I'm going to give you a number here. I love doing calculator work, okay? So you got 14 divided it by 18, all right? So, and then times that, let's see. So out of 18 months, okay, divide that by $14 trillion, right? And 14 trillion, okay, $14 trillion, hold on, $14 trillion divided by 18 months equals about almost, I would say, well, yeah, so what's going on is you're looking at about possibly five to 6 months, Cam. About 5 months, I would say, give or take, on $4 trillion. So 18 months, 14 trillion, and you take 10 trillion left for the rest, right? $10 trillion left for 18 months. And you do the math. It costs $14 trillion, all right? 14 trillion to give to right. And that's if the pandemic is strong. So let's put it to you this way. That's for about 18 months, okay? 18 months, Kim. So let's just say from March retroactive for 18 months is March. You're looking at April, May, June, July, August, September of 2021. Think they got a vaccine by then? Let's hope so. In the meantime, the bill there for $2,000 a month for 18 months is equivalent to about $14 trillion. Now, if you took that $4 trillion, they bailed out banks and businesses, that would leave a $10 trillion that you have to give in approximately 13 months, right? $10 trillion for 13, right? Well, we can do that. So you go 10 divided it by 13 trillion. You're looking at almost like, yeah. So basically the math doesn't lie. If you look at the calendar right there, the calendar says what it says. All right. Does anyone have any questions so far? Because I'm making complete sense. You're looking at $10 trillion for 13 months. All right. That's like $1.2 trillion a month. All right. If they can plunk down approximately $9 trillion over the course of 8 or 9 months, right? 6 months, going on 7 months. From all the pandemic packages together, they can come up with the money for 18 months of direct pay instead of paying $2,400 for the working class. It's $2,000 per person. Fortunately, the problem with the $2,000 is the fact is that they have to deem who needs it. So they can sit there and say, oh, little Billy and his mom needs it. Click. Oh, Gail. No, Gail's disabled. She gets monthly benefits. Fuck her. Cam gets a monthly benefit. Fuck him. Pee-wee gets a monthly benefit. Fuck her. RL, that's me. Monthly benefits. Fuck her. Chloe, fuck her. Next thing you know, they trim the fat, which means saving money by only giving it to the truly needy, the working class. So instead of giving $2,400, or they could turn around and offer 2 deals, okay? By trimming the fat and raising the highness, they could sit there and say $2,000 per person, excluding elderly, disabled, veterans, retirees. Then they could turn around. Instead, they can turn around, and what do? They can give another $2,400 on unemployment on top of that. So instead, they're getting state unemployment, federal unemployment, and a $2,000 a month. They're making more money right now sitting on their ass at home. And you wonder why, the government is trying to trim the fat. You got to trim the fat. You can't not trim the fat. If you're trying to trim the fat, then what's the point? You guys sit there and say, oh, well, the point is. Point is, think of it. Look at this. All right? Let me give you an example. This is a T-bone. All along here is the fat. That's the yummy part. The fat is the yummy parts of the bill. The ones that help the American people out. And then there's fat here, and there's some fat here, and there's some fat, right? In the end, they got to trim the fat. So, to cut the pork or fat spending, how do they do it? Simple. They cut out the stuff that they can't pass, which is, giving money to us. So right now, how are they trimming the fat? Well, you guys sit there and you say, well, I'm entitled because I'm unemployed. Well, that's fine. Want to feel entitled, feel free to. I ain't going to judge you. But how do they trim the fat? Simple. Best way they can. They're distancing themselves from Donald Trump. The Republican Party, by Mitch McConnell, to distance them. They want to get reelected. They're willing to put your livelihood and your unemployment status and your stimulus check status and your PPP loan status and your stimulus checks all on hold for the greater good of their campaign. Remember what Ambassador Spock, a.k.a. Captain Spock, said when I commanded the Enterprise? The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few or the one. They're counting you and me and the poor. And all the many, right? Or let's reverse it. The needs of the few outweigh the needs of the many, or the one. So, basically what I'm trying to tell you is the Republicans consider you a fucking number. They don't care if you fucking die under a bridge, or you live in a tent with a little fiery wood stove next to it, inside it, or a fire pit outside your tent. They don't care. They're caring about their election. That's why they're distancing themselves from Donald J. Trump. They don't care. When you sit here and you hear these Trumpians, say, oh, he's the greatest man in the world. Well, that's your opinion. Me? I went out today, and my proudest moment today was I went and I re-registered in my county, making sure everything was current to vote. Now, whoever I vote for is my fucking business, but I'll tell you, if I was in Kentucky, I'd be voting the fucking white rhino out myself, because Mitch McConnell has no place to stall a bill, okay? But at the same time, you got to blame it on all three factions. Remember, I've told you, I've been riding the storm perfectly for a while. Chloe knows that I don't like doing these videos because I'd rather be playing my game for 12 hours. However, Chloe didn't hear the news about my game. I've been working towards the mine. Anyways, I got to level 100 last night on the 100 or 150 on the floors before I had to run for food, which means I can't do anything for a while until I get more materials to build Stamina XL so I can go through the mine again. But I got to floor 150. Now I need to go through the other mine and find out about where diamonds are. They don't tell you where the fucking diamonds are. I'm supposed to get a diamond. Oh. So anyways, that's something I want to share. Let's see. Open lake mine. All right. All right. So, anyways, so floor 20. I wish they made a strategy guide for this game. That would be really cool. So, anyways, back to my story. Okay. Basically, the government turns around, right? Anyways, the government turns around and is being delayed because of what's going on in the world. I mean, literally, the problem is did you want me to take something out for you for dinner?
Yeah, I got it.
What are you having? Chips and salsa again?
Some of that tuna and a soup.
Oh, yeah, sure. Anyways, yeah, Chloe's using these, by the way. I have a story for you about this. Right here, all right? So anyways, I needed to buy some Nor, okay? I love Nor bullion. And anyways, Chloe?
Yeah?
Here's your bullion.
Thank you.
So what happened was Chloe was mad. So we got an email today stating that our Nor was delivered on the porch. We never found it. So I called UPS, right? Under UPS, you got to answer and speak and use this. Their fucking automated system's crap. So I finally said, fuck it. I went over to Amazon, claimed Amazon. I got an American for once. I said, you American? He goes, yeah, why? And I said, usually I get Filipinos. He's like, well, it's still daytime. I said, well, I have a complaint. So I told him my Nor bullion didn't come, right? He couldn't reimburse me because the Nor bullion was out. So I said, well, I can give it another day. And he said, no. He said, you never complain. He said, oh, did you ever get that chip thing resolved? No, but it doesn't matter. We lost 18 bags of chips. So And he's like, I'm so sorry. I'll get this refunded right away. So he gave us a Amazon gift card so we can use it for Christmas presents. Which, by the way, I was hoping to get an email from my sister because it's almost my birthday, and people like to know what I want for my birthday. And I had a family member turn around, right? Jokingly aside, everyone, this is too funny, okay? Don't take it personal. As you all know, I spend a lot of time getting all my information, my data, and compiling it and everything and giving it to you. Anyways, one of my family members said, well, you're doing all that content for free and you have never missed the mark yet on your video channel. I'm surprised your followers doesn't send you a birthday or Christmas present because of all the free knowledge you're giving them. Then I'd be charging you for it. Then I should just set a subscription link so you guys can, whatever. Someone said I need to get Patreon. I was like, nah. So, that's the thing, Cam, do what you wish. I mean, literally. I have a steak for dinner, okay? I was going to see if you wanted me to take out something else for dinner, Chloe. Like maybe some ground meat or something for you.
All right. Not good.
There's ground lamb. That's the only thing we have I can access. Unless you want something else.
Get some ground lamb out. I'll have it tomorrow.
Oh, okay. I'll defrost it in my own time then.
Well, I can cook it tonight. I might run to the gas station and see if there's any buns.
No, I should go to the gas station first if you want to get buns for tomorrow. I'll take it out when you find out there's buns. We do have ground hamburger there. We got like 3 pounds of 3-pound ground hamburger. You pay $22 in the big freezer. All you do is look up MO's cage. All right, so back to the story, okay? A lot of people out there, joke aside about the Christmas and birthday presents. I just appreciate your time listening to me and to give you the knowledge that I see. There's a lot of people come to me, and they prefer this over clickbait, right? They're like, Rita, we need to talk. We need to talk. We need to talk. And I, for one, think it's best to discuss it while my mind's fresh, Not enjoying cognac, not enjoying spirits, but enjoying everything else, And I know my family once in a while sits there, I'm surprised my family hasn't asked me what I wanted for my birthday present. I haven't gotten a present from them since. Not even a Christmas present in the last 3 or 4. Well, I did get one year. It was 2017. It's 2016. Yeah, was it? Yeah, it was 2016. But they have given a lot over the years, so I can't judge them. But I was just deep thinking about something, so But anyways, so yeah. Anyways, so what's that mean for us? So let's just cut back tax, okay? Basically, what's going on in, like I said, the unemployment thing is they're only focusing on unemployment. If they cared about the American people, they would care about other things, like eviction moratorium. I've never seen anything on the books yet about eviction moratoriums. That's something I wanted to share with you all. When we have an eviction moratorium, no one's even talking about it. Excuse me for a second. Something caught my eye. CNN news article. I just want to see what this is. So here's something new, because we talked about pandemic too. So CNN wants to let you know. I want to hear Chloe's opinion on this as well. Get her opinion on it. You hearing this?
Yes.
Don't raise your voice.
Just that you act like I'm not listening.
Well, you get mad and you get combative with me all the time. So, everyone, I'll just talk to you guys instead.
Actually, talk to me. Come on.
So, it says here that Pepsi came out with a new product. 3 new products of mac and cheese, macaroni and cheese bowls. Bold and cheesy, flaming hot, and cheesy jalapeno. It's sorry to say it, it is a Cheeto themed. In January, the Fritos came out with Cheetos popcorn. Last year, they partnered KFC with the Cheetos sandwich. Pepsi goes in the brand experience with a classic product. Kraft has launched a new can to eat its mac and cheese for breakfast. Mac and cheese for breakfast. So, another news article that might be an interesting thing for you talking about the pandemic is restaurants. So it says here, that Jack in the Box plans to expand nationwide. It's closed down stores, and they're talking about not fixing stuff. There was a whole bunch, but anyways, an unemployed. What the fuck keeps fucking whacking something? Is that you?
Yes, it is me.
Why?
I put this on here.
Fine, it scared the piss out of me. Well, I would be very happy with you to talk about that, Cam, because, you know, it is a good Christmas time. I mean, right now, frankly, I would like to go out fly fishing, but I'm stuck indoors, you know. And, you know, I know Pee-wee said, oh, you're only in there because, you know, you want to be in there. No, the county told me until I give up the names of my contact traces, I'm fucking stuck indoors. They won't let me outside. So, I sent Chloe to do everything. Now, I know what you guys are saying. Oh, well, what if Chloe gets 27 million people infected? No, she's wearing a mask. And if it does transmit some other ways, like clothes, then I'll be damned, you know. But, you know, I'm not going to be damned because, frankly, there's too many idiots out there, you know. But I have to have supplies. I mean, I've already been holed up here for 2 freaking weeks. Actually, it'll be this Sunday, 3 whole weeks being indoors. And it's not getting any easier, except for the video games. What is it? No, you're not getting anything, Grumpy. It's Wednesday. You don't get paid till Monday. No. He tried to bite my bunny, so he lost his payments. He gets his kibble. And besides that, saves on the grocery bill anyways for his big belly. Guy eats 2 of them a day.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Saves him 9 days of moisties. No. No?
This shit's not fair, you know. It's a grumpy.
Well, you can grump all you want. You ain't getting anything, Grumpo.
I am.
No, you're not. No one's listening. So, what are you... Mark? There's a couple other things I want to share with you, okay? Pandemic-related, economic-related, and more, okay? Now, you all know I love you dearly. Now, there's a lot of people out there. Again, remember yesterday's conversation? We talked about Christmas. Well, Cam brought it up, so I'm going to bring it up now. There's a lot of people wanting a stimulus check, again, delivered right before Christmas to pay for Christmas presents. Unfortunately, we're in a pandemic. Do we even need to think about Christmas presents? No. We need to think about survival. I mean, look, I've said it time and time again. Food. I mean, hey, you guys want to see a slideshow? Let me see if I can pull up a slideshow for you. As long as you don't see any naked pics. All right, so. Oh, all right, so. You see there, that's a whole stack of ramen and toilet paper. Isn't that cool? Whole stack of toilet paper and ramen stacked up. Boxes of salsa and juice. The garbage bags in the corner are filled with chips, potato chips. Got tubs and tubs of goldfish crackers and boxes. You see, we prepared. Stacks and stacks and stacks of Rice Krispie treats. That's what's right there in that blue box. Cookies galore. You can see we prepared and provisioned properly. In this room, you got 30 boxes or so. Well, there's several boxes. That's got the Velveeta cheese, and you can see all the toilet paper. Now, excuse my house, the pictures of it being disgusting. So here we got Rice Krispie treats, ramen, and toilet paper. You can see we've been well provisioned for this thing. I know Chloe's sitting there looking at me like, you have to show pictures of the house. No, I'm showing our supplies. More toilet paper in the bike trailer in the bathroom. As you can see, we're using that stuff up for underneath the one basket's more salsa. Then you got Quilted Northern right here. Stacks and stacks of toilet paper. Again, pure toilet paper. As you can see, we prepared quietly. Hold on. More toilet paper. You see, we've stockpiled as best we can. This pandemic, we're stuck indoors. More toilet paper and paper towels. Ramen galore. That's all ramen stacked up. Excuse the dirty floor, but we can't move around much. And more toilet paper. Garbage bags stacked up in the back. We got more. That chair there in my living room, that's cases of toilet paper and paper towels.
All right, I'm going to head out.
Yes. As you can see, the pantry, there's a picture of the pantry right there. All right, you're going to the store. More supplies on the floor that you can't see right there. So as you can see, we stockpiled the best way we can. Make sure to lock the door. Oh, Chloe, are you going to the market or the little? Hold on a second. See if they got it. See if the dip came in. I'm just curious. So the bottom line is, again, stockpile what you can. We're going to be probably in lockdown in September. And the real problem with it is a mouse. We don't have any mice in our house. Joaquin. Sorry to say Joaquin, but no, we don't have any mice here. The only thing we have that's close to a mouse is a rodent. But he's not a rodent, in my opinion. He's family. This is what we call Ebony. How you doing, huh? This is what we have. We have a rabbit, Joaquin, not a mouse. My dog would have already eaten a mouse. Hi. Hi. So, that's okay. It's okay. There you go. So, the bottom line is, Mom, you son of a bad dog. You just extended your payment another day. You don't knock over my device. Decided to knock over the thing. Thing is, you want mooch, then knock it off. You're going to break it one day. So, for some of you guys wondering, about Christmas, this is not the time to worry about Christmas. Let me tell you how I see the pandemic. Unless unemployment's restored, you got the do-nothing Republicans turning around and basically passing the buck to the Democrats. The Democrats have already passed the buck, saying, then pass a $3.4 trillion bill. You said you'd agree to anything, we'll pass it. Get it on the floor. Mitch McConnell said that his own $1 trillion HEALS Act wouldn't even get approved by his own caucus or his own party. So how would it? He'd have to have the Democrats back it. The Democrats turned around and won't back it at all. Yeah, and then you better have enough milk to go with it, Cam. I have in the back room 2 55-pound bags of powdered milk I can make. I'm good all the way up to fucking January, February in milk, as long as the tap water holds out. That's why I got my water filtration ordered, another one, to make sure we're set in the situation that we need. Literally, we are struggling to the point of no return. Plain and simple. Yeah, you must be wealthy if you got that money to buy 33 pounds of pudding. And like I said, it takes money, it takes money, it takes time, and it also takes a lot of milk, Cam. This reminds me, I've been wondering something. I've said this time and time again. Pee-wee has said this time and time again, all right? Pee-wee and I have talked, and one of the things you need to do is so anyway, sorry, I was just checking something. So my thing is, you need to look around and make what you need, because we're going to be in a lot of trouble. So I beg you all the time, you know, I beg you all to, you know, there we go, to prepare now before it gets too late. Do you really think shit's gonna hit the fan, Cam? Do you? I mean, literally, I wanted to say, you know, I'd love for y'all, you need to protect yourself and stockpile. Cam's doing it, Pee-wee's doing it, I'm doing it. I was just talking to someone, I want to tell you a story about this. One of my family members, I don't talk about that much, all right? Because, you know, it's hurt me. I mean, Pee-wee knows it hurts me to talk about this. But I'll say it, all right? I said, do you believe it will happen, Cam? I mean, by the way, you do know 100 pounds of Jello, 100 pounds of Jello, or 100 pounds of I don't want to sound rude, okay, brother, so correct me. But 100 pounds of pudding has an expiration date. Make sure to check the expiration date before you buy it. You don't use it all. I mean, literally, pudding is kind of fattening anyways, but still. Now, look, I didn't ask about missiles, Cam. I literally asked. Hold on a second. Whoops, that was my fault that time. There. As I said, great. As I said, I am right here still. Cam, the point I'm trying to make is, don't want to be on camera for a second because I'm putting deodorant on, and that means no one wants to see me completely topless. There might be a few people. I'm losing weight, but I don't think exposing my boobs to you all is a different story, you know. So, all right. So, a lot of people ask me, why am I still wearing the same clothes? That's my jammies, all right? Since I'm stuck indoors, I might as well jammies, all right? Now, I want to thank you all. But story goes, okay, about food, all right? Now, I know, I think lately, honestly, moderator Pee Wee, I hope she's okay. I hope she's been busy, you know, and hopefully there's no quarrels with her. But I think Pee Wee would like to hear this story if she is watching and listening while she's cleaning or cooking, which is, and for the rest of you, as I said, family is Filipino. My wife's cousin. I messaged her, check on the wife. No one knows how hurt I am about Annie. Annie's my girl. I've never shown you a picture of my girl. Let me show you a picture of my Annie. All right. I know I showed. Here's my picture of my girl. My Annie. My girl. Now, I don't talk about Annie in my videos that much. I usually tell everyone I care for Chloe as a person. Fortunately, my Annie means the world to me, if you didn't know. Especially my dog and my, you know, my dog and my, you know. A lot of people don't see me mourn, all right? I mourn the worst, you know, because I worry about Annie, all right? Now, I got in touch with a cousin on Instagram because we're family. She knows everything. Her family is going hungry. It hurt me. I contacted some inter-channel connections that I have to get in touch with Annie through other channels. Annie was building a house in the Philippines, and right now they're struggling. Annie and her sisters, her mom and dad. It worries me. Not enough food. And there's no social network programs in the Philippines to cover disabled people or elderly. The family takes care of them. So they revert to scamming. Now, I don't agree to scamming, but my heart goes out for Annie right now. If I could help her, I would. Even Chloe knows we'd help in a heartbeat. Annie means the world to me, and I mean, you can see how much I'm hurting talking about this as a pandemic. Philippines are in lockdown. Philippines is like my third home, all right? Australia was, well, I loved Australia, and then there's the Philippines. Fortunately for me, my problem is, I wanted to share this with you all because even the Filipino president, Duarte, thinks our president's a joke. It hurts me to no end when I hear my cousin-in-law and my sister-in-laws and father and mother-in-law in the Philippines hurting to no end through different channels, telling me that they have no food. Well, as I said, through my channels, I would have gladly helped if I could, but problem is you need a bank transfer. Bank transfer to bank transfer. Or PayPal. I can't do anything else. PayPal, Why am I saying this to you? So I want you to think long and hard. Well, you guys sit here and you want your unemployment. You want your stimulus checks. There's people in the world starving, like the Filipino people. They can't even fill their bowls with rice. That's what they eat. And you guys are worried about your next stimulus check. I don't want to sound rude or crude, but, I know probably I'll get a message from, hopefully later from Sister Pee-wee on it, I got to email someone, text someone real quick. There. So I emailed my sister because I texted her. Burn dice. Well, hello, Burn dice. Yeah, I mean, literally, I don't talk about my personal feelings on this YouTube channel. Usually I grump about, again, I'm not going to call them greedy, but the people that want their money now. I know they're suffering. They're suffering. But I want you guys to take a long look at the unemployment in places like Philippines. And I've heard Australia is not giving stimulus checks. There's not even a stimulus package. I've heard rumors galore. And yet, you all say, I need more unemployment now. I need my stimulus now. We need to get more money. I want you to take a long, hard look at what you guys need and demand, okay? How are you doing, Burn Dice? And ask yourself this. Well, my heart, I don't talk about. I speak truth, frankness, decisiveness, action, and I speak without sugarcoating anything. When I speak, people listen. So I hope you guys listen when I say that right now, Filipino people are suffering in lockdown. They're going hungry. There's not enough food to eat. That's all I want to say. People are wanting that second stimulus. The disabled, they're so hungry for it because they want to go shopping. The elderly, the veterans, the railroad people, all these 6 government benefit programs, or some call it pensions, government pensions or whatever. And then you got the unemployment side. Remember what I said. They're debating the unemployment right now. They're not talking about eviction moratoriums, the stimulus checks. They're only focusing on the $600 weekly. But while they were sitting there and they sucked up everything at the stores with their last of their enhanced supercharged benefits, grocery stores went empty again. Now, let me ask you a question. I agree with Burn Dice. They give it. But here's my thoughts. We're the greatest country in the world, and yet we can't bail our people out, but we're giving $25 billion more to airlines, hundreds of billions to the cruise industry. Which, by the way, has anyone realized most of the cruise ships are either flagged in England or in the Caribbean? Well, yeah, but let me give you the other argument, Burn Dice. The other argument is this: even if it's $600 a week and they're sitting on their ass doing nothing, sir or ma'am, the problem is that it's $600 a week. Some of these jobs went away the dodo bird unless the government basically bails them out and gives them jobs, which they won't. They're going to take billions of dollars, as I said earlier in my video, and put it through the cruise line and airline industry. And the airline industry is still a teeter-tottering. They'll put more money into it. It's like in the 2008 recession. Banks were bailed out, auto industry. Everyone got $300 stimulus checks. Or it might have been $200. I think it was $300. But I guess 12 years inflation's, got us into a depression. But let me ask you this. Since the pandemic, Wall Street has been bailed out. I've done the numbers. About $4 trillion, not billion, trillion dollars through the Federal Chair Reserve and Treasury Secretary. Now, $4 trillion. Now, I've done the math. It would cost about $14 trillion for 18 months for $2,000 a person until this virus is under control. Fortunately, the real problem here, and I'll play devil's advocate, is you're right. A lot of people don't want to go to work. And now if Biden goes and gets Kamala Harris in, which we don't talk politics on my channel, and I invoke it because, well, it's my channel, that they're going to run down the $2,000 a month and Walla Walla Zing Zang. Harris's bill's going to pass after Biden's elected. People will run to the pollings to vote for Biden so they can get their $2,000 a month. They are making more than $600. They're finding that plus the regular unemployment is making $500 a week. Now he's making $1,100. Well, yeah, exactly. So he's making $1,100 a week. Exactly. See, so $1,100. That's $4,400. That's too much. That's to sit comfortably on your ass doing nothing. I agree. Cut it down to $200 a week and see if they can fend for themselves. But again, the argument is they can't live on $800 enhanced benefits because they think that it's too little. And a lot of people, let me just play devil's advocate here, so we're on the same page, Burn Dice, is the American people, $200 in my opinion, fine. Give them $100 and let them fight it out. The thing is, if they're not willing to give up their cars, because they drive Caddies and Rolls Royces and Mercedes and Jags and all these fancy schmancy cars, and then they turn around, okay, and they come around, okay, and they won't give up their fancy houses or their yachts or their planes or whatever, and they need more money because they want the government to bail them out, then they're a damn bloodthirsty, money-hungry Republican. The way I see it, the Democrats want to survive. Most of these people, Republicans, want to live off other people. You do this, you do that, you do this, we're good to go. Well, apparently everyone's going to vote for him anyways. That's the thing. I've seen it many, many times over. I'm sorry to say it. My moderator isn't here. She's for Trump. I'm not for either party right now. The party can't get itself together. So if I vote, it's going to be independent, which that's fine because I put in a change of address and everything to vote for the election, coming in November. So when I do get my ballot, I will vote and I will drop it off in the vote box to make sure my ballot gets casted. But, it's not about dementia. What matters is, again, it's like saying, I'm playing devil's advocate here by saying, right now, it's not about the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, or the president, okay? This is about the lives of the American people. I feel sorry for them. But I do agree, $100 or $200 is fine. Giving $600 and making a red line by the Democrats, and the Democrats are stalling the negotiations, that puts not trust in the Democratic Party. But to sit there, all right, and say, Mitch McConnell said he would pass anything the Democrats brought to the table. But, quote unquote, the caveat here is, the stipulation is, if his own party would vote for it, and if the first thing he answered was, if the president backs it, I will back it, but our Republican colleagues in the Senate and the House won't back it. You see, you need someone in the House that has a strong backbone. If I was in Congress and the Senate, I'd rather be in Congress to start. I would basically jump up on the table and dance and say, listen here, we're for the people. We're not for fucking putting money in everyone else's fucking pockets. Instead, you got the fucking president wanting his payroll tax cut. You got Mitch McConnell backdooring it. He wants to go home, but he can't, so he's got extended a week. You got Stephen Mnuchin and Mark Meadows wanting a deal by Friday if this week won't happen. It might happen next week, but Mitch McConnell also said for everyone for unemployment stimulus and other things like etc. that there will take 3 weeks of negotiations. Fine, that's 3 weeks. Well, 3 weeks of people suffering. That'll really fuel the fires of the Democrat and Republican parties when they get angry at each other. Democrats drew a fine line, $3.4 trillion. No ifs. Schumer went and slogged through everything, went item by item of everything in both bills, agreeing to disagree, and disagreeing to agreeing. I mean, literally, some gave concessions, others gave concessions. What's going to happen? Well, let's see. They're not talking about stimulus checks right now or eviction moratorium. Everything is a sideshow of a sideshow. What you got is a giant circus. And it hurts me to no end that the American people are going to see tent cities pop up all across the country. Babies will be living with their mommies in tents. Dogs in tents. People are going to lose their stuff. Why? Because they're not talking about eviction moratorium. It's all in the HEROES Act, but again, Mitch McConnell doesn't like the HEROES Act. Why? One, it gives $10,000 hazard pay. He says, fuck it. Two, it gives illegals married to citizens of this country $1,200. Fuck it. Three, it gives $1,200 for a family of 5. That's $6,000. He said that's unfair. Fuck it. So it's been stalled on his desk since May 15th when the U.S. House of Representatives passed it. Plain and simple. The American people, they're suffering. Oh, I agree completely with you. That's what I was going to get at, And that's why I'm tired of even thinking of voting. People say, oh, well, I got to get out, vote for Trump. Well, the thing is, I don't want to vote, burn dice because I'm tired of it. I'm freaking tired of having people tell me who to vote for and who to not vote for. My mom said it's a sacred duty and a civic duty to vote. Who you vote for is your business. But, do I have in good conscience can vote for Biden? No. Do I have good conscience to vote for Trump? No. Do I have good conscience to vote for a third party? Well, maybe if the voter pamphlet comes, I'll actually look over who's running. Well, no, here's the thing, burn dice. Mitch McConnell stated today, that vacation time's in 2 days. Nancy Pelosi's already took a week of her vacation time to stay on to get this bill passed. Unfortunately, they're inching by inching to a deal. Some of the other senators in the House, senators in the Senate, and some of the Republican congressmen and Democrats said until a bill is signed, they got 4 party members dealing. Stephen Mnuchin, Mark Meadows, Chuck Schumer, and Nancy Pelosi. And Mitch McConnell isn't in an agreement. He refuses to work with anyone, right? So here's the deal. Let them all go home. Pelosi said they can go home, but we'd like to get a bill passed by next week, so everyone's holding on. Mitch McConnell says, we can hold on. Most of the Republicans and Democrats that aren't in the negotiations are like, look, there's not going to get anything passed. Mitch McConnell said it. Even if the president backs it, the president hasn't said anything. The Republicans in the Senate won't vote for the damn thing. And the Democrats won't vote for it either. So Mitch doesn't have any backing. Mitch should just go home and campaign while Nancy Pelosi and Schumer tries to shore up things. And if they do come to an agreement, recall them back to Washington to vote. They won't do it because they want to show that they're for the people too. But unfortunately, it's for about the votes. I mean, right now, I agree with the senators. They're useless. They're not even debating. Everything has been about other things. It's a sideshow of a sideshow of a sideshow to a sideshow. I mean, literally 4 different sideshows. And yet none of them's debating it. And they're just sitting back. Mitch McConnell's in his office. Then all of a sudden, at the end of the day, Mark Meadows and Mnuchin go and talk to him, brief him. I mean, literally, what type of country have we with no backbone? Unemployment? They want to complain about 400, give them 200. If there's a red line, I mean, look, Mitch McConnell's got 3 red line things that he won't budge on. Nancy Pelosi said, okay, we can play that game. I want $3.4 trillion. No ifs, ands, or buts. Other people are coming to the floor with ideas of how to get the ball moving. You know, like Rubio wants $1,200 for all illegal married citizens. Another bill was $1,000 for a family of 4. It just includes just family of 4. So it doesn't include disabled or elderly or anything like that, just family of 4. Even Lindsey Graham came out with an unemployment benefit bill that says it's 100% wages covered. 100% wage loss. That's it. No supercharge. What's going on? No one knows. Has anyone even seen the reports? I've said this time and time again. Where's the reports, my people, on the eviction moratorium? The eviction moratorium, my manager emailed me. That's a story by itself. I actually inquired about evictions, and we got like 120 people getting ready to be booted in 5 freaking buildings because they won't pay the rent. But right when they're getting ready to evict, right, governor turns around, puts on another eviction moratorium till October with the stimulant. So the manager turns around and says the neighbors are having parties and drinking booze like crazy, and the dumpster's always full. We can't recycle the recycling bin. Look, burn dice. My birthday is August 9th, okay? I'm going to be 42 years old. They're not going to pass something on my birthday, I guarantee it. My birthday, they're not passing anything on the 9th. They're not signing anything the 9th. You're going to see the same crap, just a different day, plain and simple. I mean, look, tomorrow is the 6th. They're not going to hammer out anything by then. They're going to all probably just run home until Mitch McConnell calls his little sheep back to pasture to vote. Bah! Yeah. $1,200. A lot of people hungry for it, but here's the problem, okay? There was a post yesterday. I always talk about my own thoughts. My thoughts are, I was watching a video yesterday, an idiot making a stimulus check update and unemployment, right? The guy was a moron. He didn't know anything. He's like, clickbait. He makes a living with it. I give all this information free. That's why I have followers on my channel. Even though I'm a low channel number, I still respect my followers, and I appreciate all they do for me. That's why a lot of my followers who earns my trust gets to carry the wrench and be a moderator. So anyways, they won't pass my birthday, but $1,200. Okay, here's what I was going to say. I had to correct my thought. One of the guys or girls made the greatest comment yesterday and deserves the greatest comment of the day award, which I was talking about great comments. She said, by the time the $1,200 gets delivered, burn dice, they're going to be homeless. She says, by the time $1,200 comes to us, 31 to 38 million people will be homeless. $1,200 won't mean jack then. Won't help then either, you see. Well, yeah, the current bill that they passed is $500. The current bill in the HEROES Act is $1,200 per family member, $500 per kid, which is, there's no kid cap limit. But on the HEROES Act, there's a cap limit of 3 children at $1,200 each. And so the Republicans said no. Well, yeah, you see. So in our state, Burn Dice, they can't evict. The manager emailed me the other day and says they can't evict. But our dumpster, for example, we live in subsidized housing, okay, on an island, and it's a nice island. I love it. Fortunately, several of the neighbors is pure drunks. Now, people see me sometimes drinking wine myself. I mean, I have recycling bins throughout the house where there's bottles here and bottles there, but I'm not an alcoholic. Now, the hospital thinks I'm an alcoholic, but I try to limit my intake of alcohol. And my next drinking session is going to be on my birthday, but when I was born in 78, so I got this nice 78 port here. Costed a premium. And then I got an 85 I'm drinking too. Which means that's my birthday wine when I have my steak. I've been aging it a little longer. Well, yes, I'm honored by you too, Cam. Like I said, I'm honored that you come in here and, and I'm honored that you actually listen about stockpiling, That's one of the keys to survival is stockpiling. Everyone else needs a stockpile. The point is, Burn Dice, it should be $2,000 a month. I'm sorry to say it, but I honestly will back the people and say it should be. But the reason they won't do it is, again, as Cam knows, is you give $2,000 a month for 18 months plus, it'll cost over $14 trillion per person in the United States. Now, if we gain 60 million people in 10 years, let's say 400 million, then there's a problem. And if we keep gaining 40 to 60 million per year, we'll be superseding China one day, and China doesn't like it. Because China is angry. We have a one-child clause. Here you can pop out 15 kids and get paid for them all. That's why a lot of people love being an American. They can just pop out babies like crazy, The real problem is like I said, I'm not trying to diss my own country. My problem is the American people, are worried. They need their money. And you got a Republican Senate, let's just put it this way. Republican and Democratic Senate and Congress, and a Republican president playing at the pipe organ like monkeys and not getting anything done. And that is what upsets me the most. Well, yeah, the Department of Defense is crazy, okay? Let me give you a reason why the Department of Defense is crazy, and I'm going to answer that question too, Cam. I think Burn Dice here will be interested in knowing my opinion on the DOD. Department of Defense, okay? We would be not in this mess in pandemic, and we would be funneling money in to help the people. If it wasn't for the Republicans, think about it. Funneling $20 billion for the USS Gerald R. Ford, which still has problems. $19 billion for the USS Kennedy. $17 to $18 billion for the Enterprise. And then the Doris, the new Doris, the new one being procured with materials, is between $15 and $16 billion. And then, not to include, it's costing about $3 billion currently, I know the numbers, to try to decommission the USS Enterprise. Now, a new Enterprise is being laid, but why is it costing $3 trillion? Well, they're having problems removing 8 nuclear reactors from a retired ship. Well, don't forget, it costs $50 billion, $100 billion for a fighter jet. I mean, look, let me put it to you this way, okay? Burn Dice. It's going to cost between $3 and $5 billion when all is said and done of a DOD contract to replace the 2 Air Force Ones. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, look at it. And by the way, let me ask you a question here, everyone, including Burn Dice, who's honored us tonight by being here. You do know when the president leaves anywhere in the White House, the rumor is he's got 28 helicopters flying various 21 Marine ones flying in various areas. That's our 28, right? 28 of them. We just replaced 28 helicopters recently. 28 helicopters. I believe they were made in England, okay? You do the math. 28 helicopters. Not including the old Air Force Ones costed like $20 million, $20 to $40 million for 2 refrigerators because they went out in Air Force One. It doesn't cost that much money for a refrigerator. Well, see, people think I'm stupid, Burn Dice, because I don't know my numbers. I sit here, I look at everything. People say you should, when a seat's available in our area, you should run for Congress. What good would it do? No one will listen to me, even if I danced up on the table at the Congress as a congresswoman. I mean, literally, the American people don't realize that we are a people, and our people are our people. Unfortunately, as you know, the military budget won't be slashed. On top of that, Biden might be senile, okay? But it wouldn't put it past me that he would declare a national emergency right before the election and put us all in lockdown and keeping that going. But here's another thing I read today on 20 websites. He suppresses the voters by mail-in ballot in states that are allowing it. He's suppressing his own vote count. They're saying he's not smart, all right? I look after someone who's borderline personality, so I have good morals. Before he came in, I was touching on a private issue that me being stuck here, quarantined, county won't let me leave until I give contact tracing info. I'm not allowed to because my family said, and absolutely, we don't want anyone on our lawn. They came to visit me. And one of my personal issues is a long time ago, I married a Filipino girl, and she got mad at me and went to work overseas. Well, she's in the Philippines right now. From what I understand, you want to know moral values. I tell you my moral values. I'm worried about her. I just found out her family's going hungry with not enough rice to fill their bowls. Now, if I get to Western Union, I'd take care of that problem tomorrow. But they don't have PayPal, and I don't know if they have a bank account. Otherwise, I'd send money directly bank to bank by going out as soon as I could and send money to make sure that they ate. Pretty girl like her doesn't deserve to go hungry, you know. That's my moral values. You don't leave a man behind, especially someone you care for, or a woman for that matter. No offense. I'm a minister of God, so to me, I don't touch base on my personal issues on my channel much. Usually, sometimes I gripe about how my house ain't being cleaned because my roommate's got borderline personality and can blow up at anything. Or as Joe would say, bipolar. Well, yeah, exactly. Let me put it this way. Our government, right, they claim it's the greatest country in the world, right? It's the greatest country in the world. Why are they stonewalling bills? Why is people going hungry? Why is people going to be evicted? Why is people going to, there's people that would need that $1,200. There's people that want $2,000 a month. There's people that could use $3,000 a month or $5,000 a month. We're the richest country in the nation. They could do it. All the Treasury has to do is open up their Batman utility belt and start doing direct digital currency without raising the deficit by doing digital currency, working with a bank that they bailed out, and they can start doing direct deposits monthly into anyone's bank account, whatever, monthly until the pandemic's done by circumventing the Constitution and Article 1, Section 21, where it says Congress controls the purse strings. But they won't do it. To me, I'm sorry to say, Burn Dice, but I think both Republicans and Democrats don't have a freaking backbone anymore. They did. They think about the people instead of their damn votes. I mean, look, Mitch McConnell got up yesterday and said, if you have to distance yourself from the president, get reelected, do it. It's like President Trump steering the ship of state, which is the Titanic. Let's just say Titanic 2, which is built in China. And he's running there going, ha, Donald, ha, yeah, and he hits an iceberg. The Republican Party and the Democratic Party is distancing themselves from Trump. They're the rats jumping off the ship, hoping they can swim to safety. Even climbing on an iceberg that they might burrow themselves in. They might eat each other up, eat everyone up, start turning against each other because they're hungry. But that's the moral of what I see. They're ship of state's Donald Trump driving the Titanic 2, and it's built in China and sinking. Hits another iceberg. Meanwhile, I'm not against the president anyway, no shape or form. All right, burn dice. What I'm saying is both parties can't get their act together. They're not hurting the American people. They have ways they can circumvent to make $2,000 or $3,000 a month until this pandemic's over. I mean, people are scared to go back to work. Well, hello there, Dinky. So, I'm not against the president in any way, shape, or form. I'm just saying, economy's tanking. I was watching videos today, okay? It was called Republicans Against Trump, RAT. Nice name, isn't it? Anyways. And they're anti-Trump Republicans that turned to vote for Biden. I mean, there's thousands of videos of people. They're posting videos all the time. They're talking about, Republican Party has no morals anymore, no values anymore. They're for big corporations. I mean, look, the numbers don't lie. They're going to give $225 billion to the airline industry yet again, and yet they can't bail out mom and pops and anyone else because they're hurting. Some of the jobs went away at the dodo bird permanently. And yet, at the same freaking time, they've spent, since the pandemic happened, and I've done the number crunching, I do spreadsheets all the time, $4 trillion went out to Wall Street. $4 trillion. Our deficit's ballooning, and yet they're bailing out Wall Street. The last time we had a recession, they were giving $300 stimulus checks to help the economy. That helped. But now, let's talk about the other problem. China. China's not allowing much to come into our country right now, so warehouses are empty. You can't find a Nintendo Switch. I was going to ask my family to check on Costco because they might be able to find a Switch for me for my birthday, or a Switch Lite. Fortunately, again, it's not happening. No, I didn't ask them anyways. They just probably tell me anyways, go check Costco directly, which I will. I'm just wondering if there is anything available, Costco for Switch systems. Currently online, there is no Switch systems available, just free games. There it goes. See? Isn't that nice? Uh-huh. Well, look, I'm a lesbian, okay? So I'm a minister of God. Jesus said, thou shalt not judge, or ye be judged yourself. So basically what he was saying was, don't judge. Love others. Love your neighbor as yourself. Now, I'll tell you, I was in a schooling the other day with my teacher. They do breakout rooms. And someone said, how can you love a pro-Trumper, as one person calls it, a Trumpian, when it's all about Trump, all about Trump, all about Trump? It's not about the citizens, not about the people. The teacher basically, we have to love everyone. That's true. Unfortunately, we all couldn't basically hold ourselves from cracking up laughing so hard that we were laughing for like 3 minutes out of our 15-minute breakout session. I mean, literally, it was just too freaking funny, If I'm read correctly, he got shot, or something like that, executed, right? They executed him, burned him at the stake or something. Something to do with executions, what I understand. The political parties are greedy and just want it their way. Well, yeah, I mean, look. Like I said, I'm against both parties right now, okay? Here's how I see it. Old Rhino Mitch McConnell should be voted out, okay? He basically said if the president agrees to this, then I'm on board with whatever Nancy Pelosi throws out on the table. So if Nancy Pelosi wants $3.4 trillion, he's good with it. But then in the next sentence, he said something about, but most of the Republicans in the Senate won't vote for it. If it was $3.4 trillion, the Democrats would vote for it in the Senate, but not the Republicans. You see what I'm saying? You see, that's just morally wrong right there. You shouldn't be shooting someone because they have COVID virus. It'd be like the police coming to me and trying to have COVID virus. I mean, it's like the sheriff came the other day. A young pup, 22, the motherfucker shouldn't even have a gun. I say they should defund the fucking sheriff half of its ways and get rid of the bastard. I mean, literally, the lawyers are now fighting for Chloe's rights. Chloe wants to leave, off the island to go home to mom. Fortunately, sheriff told her she can't move. She can't leave to Moses Lake. She can't live in Grant County. She can't go to Maricopa County in Arizona. She can't go to Ohio, which is Jefferson County. She can't go anywhere. They said you have to stay put till after the pandemic. Well, lawyers are having a heyday. That's a First Rights Amendment violation. You don't just turn around and say you can't leave. It'd be like my cousin getting a knock on the door from the health department and the sheriff and saying you can't leave to Texas because until after the pandemic. I'm sorry to say, but these Republican bastards can't tell people what to do and can't do. They even wouldn't let Chloe go and get groceries on Orcas Island. We live in the San Juan Island, so they said no grocery shopping there. You got to order your stuff online or have advocates deliver to you. Right. I mean, frankly, I can survive. I got my video games, but my point is, you don't tell someone they can't leave. That's just downright morally wrong. If they want to leave, let them leave. Plain and simple. Well, yeah, I agree. The Democrats are a socialist party platform. I mean, look, they want to give. See, here's how I see it, okay? As I said, I went today. My family doesn't know this, but I went out today and I updated my voting info for this county. And I contacted the county. They said, okay, well, when the general election comes, you're on board. I said, yes. And I said, make sure that I'm exempt from jury duty. They said, why? I'm disabled. I have a service dog. And I don't think my dog wants to sit in a courtroom for 8 hours. He'd be howling and not happy about the judge's gavel. They said, okay. So they're talking to the courts about it, but that's a different story. I went out and I had to vote. I'm going to vote. Whatever I vote, I vote. But on good conscience, like I said, I have to vote for other party members. Because, frankly, people say, well, if the Democrats get in, we're going to go into a depression. People say if the Republicans get in, this is the end of the country. I'm still analyzing all this. Now, it takes me time to analyze. I'm learning disabled, so I'm taking it slow. But all the information I give freely for the people, burn dice, on stimulus checks and unemployment. Now, they put out a deal today, $400. $400 is fine for most people. Well, again, Pelosi drew a red line, so it's $600. $600 plus whatever state's unemployment you paid into. I mean, California is paying basically like $1,100 additional per week, including the $600. So that's like $1,700, I understand, per freaking week. I don't know about you, but that just burns my red ass. Well, that's the other thing. The law basically states, again, I've talked to lawyers, constitutional lawyers say you can't declare it. Now, it could put us all in lockdown until after the election, but that's basically, a different story to continue to delay people from voting. I mean, that's the only thing you can do at this stage of the game with 95 days left of the 94 until voting day, I think it is, that we are in a pandemic. Now, I said many times over, Cam knows this, Pee Wee knows this, Dinky knows this, stockpile while you can, because you might be in lockdown. There's people talking about the governor of Washington State working with the governor of Arizona, working with the governor of Oregon, working with the governor of California, working with the governor of Colorado, and working with the governor of Nevada to lock us down again. Those are the only talks of lockdowns, yet again. They're talking about locking down all the blue states. Now, to me, that just sounds terrible. But you know what? This virus was made in China. This virus, they can just turn off the water. They can turn off the virus as soon as the Democrats get elected. So, that's how I see it. Yeah, they're talking about locking down all blue states. Which, and some red states are talking about slowing down and going back to phase 1. They stayed in place shelter orders because the virus is spiking. I haven't checked the virus numbers today, but the last time I saw it, I think it was yesterday, the virus death count was approximately almost 1,500 yesterday. So, and the president controls the numbers, so you have to go through different channels to see what the true numbers are because, certain channels you can't. So, currently, we've almost hit 162,000 deaths. They say by December 31st, it'd be 300,000 dead. And by tomorrow, I assume we're going to hit over 5 million people. So, yesterday's death toll was 55,000 with almost 1,400 deaths. So, 55,000 people contracted the virus. California is still leading top, Florida second, Texas third, New York's fourth now. Damn. So, we're now on a new day for some places. Well, yeah, exactly, but no one believes it. Because it's fear and tactics, people don't want to go to work. They're trying to, cripple the economy. I mean, literally. Let's talk about the economy for a minute. I was talking to some people the other day and say, the American-made fly fishing business, okay? Ones that make the fly rods in-house in America. Well, American-made products, not imported from Korea. They said, and I quote, business is slow, but they might not have a business soon because, of the delivery problem. So, where was I? Lost my train of thought. Like I said, they can turn off the virus as soon as Democrats win. But the economy is what I was talking about, is that there's not many American factories in this country. We make certain items. Everything else is brought in from China. Because under Bill Clinton, Democrat, he passed it that people can get tax cuts if they sent their companies overseas. I just heard a rumor that Oreos are going to start being made in Mexico. Oh, well, I'll still buy Oreos, even if it's, Well, if the Democrats win, so be it. I'll just sit back in my basement here and watch the fun I'm told. We're in a blue state, so the militia's already ready to roll. Other states have militias too, and they're ready to roll. So if it's going to be civil war, Dinky, let it be civil war. Mostly if the Dems win both House and Senate, which there's a guy that predicted a lot of presidencies in the past, and clearly he's got them all right. He's stating right now that Biden will win. Scares the dickens out of me. It happens, it happens. Like I said, I was watching this channel called RAT, Republicans Against Trump. And it's interesting. They all are against Trump. Some of them didn't vote in the last election for Trump. They couldn't consciously as a Christian. The other ones voted for Trump and said they regret it because Trump and the Republican Party don't meet their ideology anymore. So until the Republicans get all kicked out of office and new Republicans restore the ideology, they said they have no choice but to vote for Trump. So Trump's numbers are going through the roof because of it. But then you have, as what Chloe calls, the Trump tards, or as the rat people call it, Republicans and Trump, ex-rat people. They said that the Trump tards or the Trumpians are following Trumptopian society or the rules of Trump.
That's what I got. It's good till the 13th.
Oh, good.
It's just that the bugs were expired yesterday. The date on them were yesterday, and I'm not risking a PT for you. Okay, here's 3 cans. They got you an entire roll.
Right, cool. I can stay in for another week.
Yeah, got the entire roll of Skull Cherry tobacco right here.
Well, thank you
It's
very
not all
much.
wrapped up in a roll, but it equals a roll. 5 cans. See?
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. I bought some down.
Well, yeah, I agree. That's the thing. I was talking to the people, Burn Dice, about factories, okay? We don't have enough factories, okay? Some jobs went away of the dodo bird permanently. I use that term all the time. Problem. Okay. Problem is our factories went overseas. Unless someone, like I said, I'd run for Congress. I'd pass a bill basically lowering taxes so we can bring back the jobs. Because right now, if the jobs number stays the same, even after the election, we're going to have unemployment high because a lot of jobs went bankrupt. And a lot of companies, I just saw a story about like 20 different restaurant chains are going bankrupt. They can't hold afloat because of the jobs, you know. And so during the Great Depression, I like history. FDR came out with a massive infrastructure plan to refix bridges and everything else and get things back to the economy back on its feet. But he also turned around, Burned Dice and Dinky. And during Ike's term and Truman's term, Truman's a Democrat, they basically were paying people state dinners to live in barracks-type buildings to build nuclear reactors, build secret bases in the deserts and places to build the nuclear bomb. And because of that, the economy rebounded and got better after the Depression because they had massive infrastructure bills put in place. Here, we don't have them. We have deteriorating rail companies. Rail companies can't keep up on the rail lines. We have deteriorating roads. We got other things. I mean, literally. The way I see it, the Democrats target the poor and educated with promise of free stuff. The Republicans create jobs. But the Republicans, again, Burn Dice and Dinky, this is where my argument is valid to a point, is that they're not creating jobs. They can offer jobs, but they can't. They can offer jobs to people doing steel work. During World War II, we had our auto industry turned into making tanks, bombs, ammunition for the war, military rations. We could turn out submarines really fast. During World War II and World War I, we were turning out our own U-boats, basically, at a record pace. We were turning aircraft carriers out. I mean, we had a fleet of like 200 or 300 submarines during World War I and II. Now they're turning them out at a slow pace because we don't have the workforce for it, because we're not at war. We should all want businesses back. Well, yeah, exactly. That's where I was talking to the people, all right? Warehouses are empty. China's basically playing the, till you submit to us, we ain't going to open warehouses and ship product to you. TVs, computers, etc. So you're lucky if you find something. Freezers. Did anyone know that the current freezers are made in China and Korea? I didn't know that. Refrigerators, again, made in China or Korea. You may pay $2,000 for a good refrigerator, but no one knows it. The only civil war there will be for me is those that try to kill me, which if that's the case, it's treason, whoa. But Cam, you're not the president, so it doesn't matter if it's treason. DUMBS? What the hell is DUMBS? I'll tell you what I forecast, okay? Pee-wee's completely right. The Democrats are going to win both House and Senate, and they're going to get the presidency, okay? There's no tell. The polls are already saying that, okay? It could change, but here's my theory. When they get in, they're going to have Kamala Harris as vice president. They're going to pass a bill. They're going to cripple the economy. They're going to tank it. We're going to go into a Great Depression. And then when people are starving, burn Dice and Dinky. By the way, everyone, Dinky's my cousin-in-law. So if you need to know, she's the original moderator. So please show her some respect and love. Anyone messes with her, you got to go through me. Now, here's my opinion on it. If it happens, the Democrats are going to start passing bills as fast as they can, okay, taking away everyone's rights to weapons, firearms, rifles, pistols, revolvers, anything that hurts. I mean, that's nice to find, but they're going to take it away. Why? Because they're not going to take you to a deep military underground base. They take their own military people before you. You're basically disabled, a burden to society like me. Undesirable, Cam. We're all undesirable. So because we're undesirable, no one wants us to, But yeah, look at the way the American people are. They're hurting. They're hurting to no end, Cam. The American people are hurting. And frankly, you guys think civil war is going to happen, but if the Dems flip both House and Senate, become president, guns will be taken away. Then there will be civil war because they're not going to hand over their guns politely. But let me ask you one question. If the President Biden signed bills to take away guns, how many people can stand up, Burn Dice, Cam, Dinky, the U.S. military grade weapons, M16s, M203s on the bottom, Laws rockets, M202 rocket launchers, M60 Abrams tanks, A64 Apaches, Comanches, and Black Hawk helicopters? Hell, today I looked out the window and we had a helicopter hovering over our city. It was a Black Hawk helicopter. The newspaper didn't publish why it was hovering over our city. When I called city council, they said they don't know why the helicopter is just hovering. That tells you right there there's something fucking weird if they're hovering over Port Angeles and other cities across the state out of Joint Lewis McChord base. Yeah, that tells you right there all you need to know. So, but no, American people are hurting. They're hurting to no end. That's all I gotta say, because frankly, people need to realize, that unemployment, again, let's reiterate, unemployment they're talking about, right? $400 is fine. Give it to them. Hell, give them $100. I'd be happy. Give them $200. I'd be happy. But Pelosi drawing a red line. Yeah, but one of the things I gotta say is, Burn Dice, is your comment about free stuff. Most of the Democrats that want that go and post comments to other people's channels about stimulus checks, they want it now. They don't want to wait 3 weeks or 4 weeks. They want it now. And with unemployment, they say they don't get it, they're voting them out, the Republicans out. These people don't realize, these Democrats don't realize that Nancy Pelosi's blocked it. She said $3.4 trillion or else. She basically turned around and said that. They're slogging 1 inch by 1 inch. Now they have to cut their vacation time down to get something passed. It won't happen. It's not going to happen. Welcome, Salam Alaikum. I mean, literally, the Democrats are stalling it, okay? But Mitch McConnell again stated, and I'll reiterate this, stated that the American people can wait, because if the president's on board with Pelosi's stimulus bill, that's fine. The president's a yo-yo. He's back and forth. 1 minute he's fine with no tax credit cuts, or tax credits, or unemployment, or take out the payroll tax cuts. Then he said he's going to use executive action to do it, which he could, but only defers it, which means, for example, say everyone gets payroll tax cuts. Say my cousin Dinky's working, and she gets more money on her checks, right? All of a sudden, one day, her check's cut in half, because you got to take one lump sum. I read the logistics of it. So they take more money out to pay it back, so that Social Security doesn't falter. The other thing, he claims he can use executive order for the eviction moratorium. They're not even talking about the eviction moratorium right now. They're not talking about it. The real truth is the president's impatient. He wants to get out on the campaign trail. He wants to be the savior of the country. But you got the Democrats stopping, saying, not until we get what we want. But then you got White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows. You have Stephen Mnuchin, Treasury Secretary, debating with Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. They're not debating with anyone else. They're doing it on their own accord. You see where I'm going with this? And on top of it, they're not talking about eviction moratoriums. They're not talking about stimulus checks. They're talking about unemployment right now. Think about it. So, point is, the American people are suffering. Until we give the American people what they need, or until we get actual true numbers, that's where it's going to basically raise a red flag. So, plain and simple. So, anyways, I wish you all the best. It seems the comments petered out. I've answered your questions, your concerns, and any questions, any concerns? Better check the bank balance while we're waiting for anyone who wants to comment. Kind of worried Chloe spent $90 again on dip. We still got a bill to pay tomorrow, so Well, I guess she used her own debit card? Interesting. Yeah, same here, Cam. Same here. I would like to get into my game eventually, you know. I put in probably close to 60 hours already, and I'm really enjoying it, so. Nebs, do not think of overturning your bowl. Come here. Come here. You don't overturn your bowl. Say hello, everyone, to Ebony, the baby, and the family. Hi, baby. How are you? See? He's a laid-back little boon. Trying to eat my glasses, are we? Instead of a parrot on my shoulder, I got a bunny on my shoulder. What's up? Huh? You happy? Huh? So, yeah, if anyone wants to talk about stimulus checks or unemployment, I'm here. When Chloe gets back, and then I'm going to log off for a bit. Well, till tomorrow, I think. Or until we get another stimulus update. I had to get this off my chest and clear my head. Because, you know, still, it's the same shenanigans. No one is getting... It's okay. No one's getting payments yet. Even Ebony knows there's no stimulus money yet. And every day gets closer to election day. And every day, people are going to be evicted. And every day, it's going to be the same old, same old. So, anyway. Here we go. Oh, well. Can't stop you if you want to drop, you know. Yeah, I prefer other meals than, you know, Italian sausage myself. Well, everyone, since the comments petered out, what? What? No. No? You get payment Tuesday. Mm-mm. So, does anyone have any questions about the stimulus checks? Or, you know, because right now it looks like September is the earliest, if then. Where are you going? I guess. Okay. Point is like I said, the you know, if you guys have any questions, please ask. You know. So, any questions? You got water right there, Poppy. So, you know, I've talked about my personal issue with Annie. Talked about unemployment. Berntai said Biden's just a puppet. Well, a lot of people are puppet. Dinky said something about civil war. The Democrats will win. That's the real thing. It's a real possibility. You know, I watched a video where a guy basically stated that the president will be Biden. People want to say that he's going to win in a landslide. He can't unless he does underhand tactics. And then you're screwed. Yeah, sure. You just gotta email me a link, Sassy, and I'll join your channel. What is the conversation about, may I ask? Just email me a link there, Sassy, and I'll join you. I'll give you my phone number to text me the link, but frankly, I don't give my phone number out, so email signing up. Just email me there, and I'll join afterwards because the conversation's kind of petered out. I mean, literally, you know, I would love to join in on someone else's chats, you know. So, you know, in the present day economy, yeah. My email's right here. So, basically, you know, I'll gladly do it, you know, for a couple minutes before I go game. I got a lot of gaming to do anyways tonight again while my steak defrosts, but yeah, I'll gladly join in. Might be entertaining. But anyways, to all of you out there, like I said, the conversation and stimulus and payments and stuff, not good. China doing what they're doing, not good. Everything's happening for a reason. Not good. So, the news is not good to read anyway, so, you know. So, anyways, everyone, like I said, got things to think about tonight, too. Chloe asked to pre-order the new Harvest Moon games, so I went ahead and did that. You know, that was pretty cool. You know. So, I'm waiting for Sassy's email. Otherwise, you know, I'd disappear. So, anyways, like I said, I got a game to play soon, and spend the evening working on my game. So, I'm just trying to remember Harvest Moon or Story Seasons, as they call it. Trying to remember something about the game. There's 5 bachelorettes and 5 bachelors. You got Rick, you got Cliff, you got Gray, you got Doctor. Those are the only 4 I can remember. I know there's a 5th one, but I don't remember. I think Juan was a character too, but, you know. And then for the bachelorettes, you had Anne, Mary, Karen, Potpourri, and Ellie. But if there was a 5th guy, you know, you can court. There was Cliff, Gray. Hey, Burn Dice. I was talking about a video game I'm playing, Story Seasons or Harvest Moon. There was Cliff, Gray, Rick. Now they added Brandon and Jennifer. There's someone else too. I just can't remember. Carter? No, not Carter. Doctor. Yeah, or Trent. That was it. I just can't remember the rest. Nope. I think it was Juan, but I'm not certain. I never liked those shows either. You know. Thanks. I'll get it. Never liked the okay. Used to love Harvest. Yeah, I mean I'm playing the remake from PS1 era. You know, there's the Game Boy Advance. You know, there was Harvest Moon, Friends of Mineral Time, which you started as a boy. You couldn't be a girl, and for PS1, and then they remade it for Game Boy Advance, which was Friends of Mineral Town, which was the boys' version. More Friends of Mineral Town, the girls' version. And then they remade it again Story Seasons, more Friends of Mineral Town. And in this one, they put in same-sex marriages. So, you know. Well, all right, I got it. So I will gladly, you know. And by the way, Sassy, your little profile picture looks pretty cute, by the way. Well, yeah, let me show you. Burn dice. And if you pre-ordered it, you get a stuffed cow to go with it. Look at this. See? Friends of Minerals, Story Seasons. When Natsumi gave up the title and rights, they gave up the title and rights. They went into the Switch version. And because of it, they finally remade it again. Because they decided, since they couldn't hold the name Harvest Moon, Marvelous couldn't hold the Harvest Moon name, they decided to go with the Story Season. So because of it, the rumors going around between Marvelous and Exceed Games is that the next remakes for the Game Boy or the Switch will be Story Season DS, whatever that one was, and then Story Seasons DS Trio of Town, a Trio of Town. So I can't remember the Story Season name, but Exceed Games also got the rights again for and Marvelous for Rune Factory again. So rumor has it they might bring out Rune Factory 1, 2, and 3, but currently that's under Natsumi's branding. But, you know, Natsumi also came out with the futuristic Harvest Moon, if you remember, called Innocent Life, a futuristic Harvest Moon, which was cool.
They should have a little Western themed Harvest Moon.
Well, yeah, exactly. What Chloe just said, they should have a Western theme Harvest Moon. But yeah, well, whoever it is, your relative's pretty cute, Sassy. So, you know, but I will, when I log off, I'll go and do, I'll go in there since I assume it's live, and I will join whatever the debate is, you know. Well, I have all the Harvest Moon. My thing is when I got Harvest Moon, Friends of Mineral Town, and more Friends of Mineral Town, I'm telling you, they made some really good modifications for the Switch version. The one that I like between the PS1 and the Game Boy Advance is they actually put in, if you give 100 giftings of the Harvest Goddess, she'll install elevators as long as you get to the proper floor checkpoints to work your way through the mines. The problem is in the spring mine, where you can only go in wintertime with the lake frozen, and walk over the ice, is that they have pitfalls. So if you use your hoe, and your hoe can't do like in Harvest Moon Light of Hope for the Switch, you can go into the mine, and they gave it so if you had like floors, so you have an elevator and it says what floor do you want, 1, 9, 13, you know, and you can go down to like 100 all the way down to the bottom. If you need to mine more money, you go to the lower floors. The problem is with it, burn dice, is that in Harvest Moon, Lighthouse of Hope, they put in that you can gift anyone and you can marry the Harvest King, the Harvest Goddess, you know, etc. But the problem is you can go into the mine, and as long as you keep upgrading your hammer, you lose less stamina. And if you use your hoe, you lose less stamina again. But if you start upgrading your hoe to the highest one, you can do 15 squares on the floor to find the stairs to the next floor. Whereas in Story Seasons, you got to use your stamina wisely, and they say save often and reload, save often, and you can work your way down to floor 255. The problem is I got last night down to floor 100 with the stamina boosters just to see, and I can start at floor 100 and working my way down to 150 and then 200, 250, where the elevator comes up again. Otherwise, those are the checkpoints. Fortunately, as you're working to find the floors, you need to make stamina boosters, and the only way to do that is to collect special grass. You can't just go buy it. So I had 27 stamina boosters, and I worked my way through multiple times to floor 100 before I ran out of stamina booster. So I got done. I spent like I stayed up till like 7 in the morning this morning playing it. I was just like going through it, and my husband passed away, so as I was playing, I know his spirit's with me, and he's like, "Way to go!" My nickname was Trixie. He's like, "You got to floor 100. I've never done that." Well, it's fun. I mean, literally just sitting there, and as every floor, you got like one giant chamber that has nothing but rocks that you break it with your hammer, and then other smaller chambers. You get to the bigger chamber, and then smaller chambers, and as you work your way down, But right now, I'm just harvesting first few floors of the mine, because that's I can bring in between 5,000 and 7,000 gold a day, whereas in the spring, summer, and fall, I run the farming. So I do my cows, my sheep, my alpacas, my chickens, my rabbits, and then in the wintertime, I mine. And so by the time I get ready to mine again, and I remember what grass I need, I can start using my kitchen to make more boosters. But at the same time, in story seasons, there is no time limit now. Whereas in more Friends of Mineral Town and Friends of Mineral Town, you had like 4 years to get married and start a family. Otherwise, game over, and you got to start over. They did. They added a couple new characters you can marry. You can also marry the chef, which is highly hard. You can also marry Jennifer, a new character in the game. You can also marry Brent, I think it is, or Brandon. But the thing is I think there was one other guy you can marry. I just don't know where it was. And then you go in and you give gifts to people like a girl, and she'll teach you recipes for cooking. Or you go into a certain house at a certain time, you start taking a cooking course, and you can increase your cooking skills to make good dishes. I mean, the game's completion, the game 100% completion, probably is 500 to 900 hours. So one of the things I figured during a pandemic is I can go virtual farming, and with Harvest Moon coming out with New World by Natsumi, which NIS is actually working with another company to produce it. Their website has it for sale. So there's a PS4 version and a Switch version, which it seems really good. I look forward to getting it by Christmas. It might be under the Christmas tree because it's been pre-ordered. Same with other games that are due out 2021. So the economy, of course, what's going on with the economy, and I wanted to share this with everyone, is the economy's tanking to the point of game companies now are putting their games on their own online stores over over Amazon, so you got to go through them, Hold on a sec, everyone. All right, so my sister messaged me about some court case, Anyways, you should Google, find a video out there, Burn Dice on walkthroughs or reviews of story seasons. That's what it's called. Ghost of Tsunami and X. Well, we ordered We ordered a couple of Fallen Legion games, pre-ordered those. We also pre-ordered Ys 9. That's not available, I believe, on Amazon yet. And we pre-ordered some other stuff too. Ys 9, Fallen Legion. You know, it was cool. Amazon doesn't have, well, they have Ys 9 too, so I don't know. I'm checking my order. So I have Sakuna, Rice, and Ruin being as pre-ordered. Dragon Quest 11 for PS4 Definitive, Fallen Legion, Pathfinder Kingdoms, The Legend of Heroes Trial Cold Steels for Switch, Crash 4, and new Assassin's Creed games. And then Bravely Default 2. And yeah, so I'm hoping the video game market gets better, but so far it hasn't, you know. Well, with E3 canceled, everyone's like, whoa, what do we do, you know? Switch and PS4. But anyways, I got to use the restroom, everyone, and then I got to go check out Sassy's stream. So please look at another video tomorrow. I promise I will be here for a bit when I get up and if I go through the news media and stuff. So in the meantime, anyone wants to message me about games, here's my email address. Feel free to use it for any questions, concerns, comments, suggestions. So here we go. Please add and subscribe. Please post comments. Please leave feedback, suggestion, hit the like, subscribe button, hold some funny for your family, including your dogs, your cats, your bunnies, your service dogs. Hit the bell notification for new content every day. And yes, I have a service dog. Thanks for watching, everyone, and God bless you in everything you do.